What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of
Toasty!
I'm your host, Josh Berry.
I'm your other host, Chris Pico.
And today we are at Logan Arcade.
Formerly Logan Hardware.
You still got the old hardware up there.
Yeah. Pretty rad little arcade that just opened up recently in Bucktown on Fullerton Western. And we're going to go in there and have a chat with the owner.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
This place is freaking awesome.
It is very awesome.
Thanks. I am quite impressed with the selection of games that you have around here, both pinball and arcade.
Work in progress.
It's doing pretty good as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You're on the right track.
Thank you.
So when did you start up this place?
We've been open, Logan Arcade has been open since February 17th. And then before that, in this space, we had Logan Hardware Records, the record store, which moved down the street. We moved that down the street in July of last year, and now I think there's about 40 games in the back of the record store in free play, and we're centering on, we've got about 4 pinball games, and we're trying to have more cabarets and rare games like Bosconian and Cloak and Dagger, games that make more sense there because they're a little bit rare, still fun, and also the classics. There's still Donkey Kong and Miss Pepper and stuff like that. Yeah, since February here as the bar, the arcade.
I remember everyone telling me that, all the back there at the hardware store, they got pinball machines. I was like, I should probably check that out at some point, but I never did.
Pick up some duct tape and play some games.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I like it, so I like it.
Yeah,
I am mightily impressed.
Thanks a lot.
And this has been something that's gotten pretty popular in Chicago. There's Emporium, headquarters, and it seems like they're all doing well.
As far as like the joining of a bar and an arcade.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
We are attacking that the crowd that grew up on arcades. Like I'm only 31, so my age is dying down a little bit. Yeah. So but I had to go to small town, go to Walmart to play like Street Fighter. And
I used to have to go to a 7-Eleven to play Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's really cool to like now be able to be an adult, and like you were saying earlier, I can actually have money to come in here and spend money and play these games now.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. I've been to headquarters, and I got to say, you have a much better selection.
Thank you.
And they're in better condition too.
We pride ourselves on the condition because we come from being collectors and restorers first. We have one full-time tech, James Barron, who hits the games every single morning, every day. We have a part-time guy named Joe who's been helping out a bit. Once in a while, I'll jump in. Not as often as I'd like. I wish I had more time to do it. But we really love games and come from that side first. It's not a theme to us. It's not something kitschy and cool or hip right now. To us, we're collectors and we want to have these games out there. And to us, we're guys that would go to other places and be like, awesome, they have, why is that, that's broken. And, we were the guys that would go to places and be like, hey man, I'll fix this game for free. Like, I don't even want free credits, just let me fix it so I can play the damn thing,
Yeah, and it's impressive that you have as many pinball machines.
Thank you.
I went to headquarters. I haven't been since they did their expansion, but they had one pinball machine.
They got a lot more now.
Because they have the Simpsons one.
They've got I think they've got 12 last time I was there that were working on the floor. They have more in their collection, but they weren't all there.
Last time I was there, I think they just added the AC/DC one. Yeah, that was the last time I went. I was like for my birthday last summer.
And they center, pretty much everybody centers on the DMD stuff, the newer stuff, the more 90s stuff, or the newer Sterns, where I try to hit all eras because I like all eras. We even have mechanical games. We have games like Embryon or Harlem Globetrotters or Pinbot.
See, Pinbot, that's my jam right there.
Oh, it's my favorite game. We have one at the record store as well.
Really?
I think right now, too, we've got double the amount of pinball that headquarters has the most besides us, but we have twice as much as they do. I think our games are in better condition. Yeah. Mostly because we have a full-time tech. Yeah. It's pretty hard. If you don't maintain your own games, it's kind of like having a classic car and not being able to do basic maintenance. You're going to be at the shop all the time. Yeah. That being said, you put a new set of ramps, like we'll get a game like Adam's Family was a boat anchor when we got it. It stunk so bad, I think we had to air that out outside because it was really bad. We had to rip everything out of it. We had to replace all the ramps, all the plastics, everything. Because most of the games we get are not retail games that are working that we just have to futz with. They're typically, well, like in the case of Faces, that's a rarer for the States game from Spain. We had to find 2 of them and combine the 2 into 1 to get the 1 working. And you can see around some of these glasses are actually from games that either didn't make it or games where maybe we had multiple games we had to combine into 1, so now we have extra glass and extra stuff. So most of the games we buy very, very, very cheaply because they're pretty messed up when we get them. Luckily,
that's a thrifty way to do it. That's the way I do it.
Well, then it's also like, when you're a collector, it's kind of like you were saying about you want to find games, like you were saying Earthbound, how many of those probably got thrown away? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like KB, they marked them down, and finally they're at a couple of bucks, and they probably threw them away. And it's part of that is just knowing that it's a finite resource, and if we can save some game from the dump, you know.
So out of like all the games that you have here, which one is like your big crowning, your top pick, or the one you're most proud of owning in the store?
They're all sorry, it's tough because they're all like they're my babies.
Yeah. I love them all.
What's the one you want to show off to people the most then?
You know, out of the video games, right now I really love Satan's Hollow. You know, it took us a bit to get that going. I really like showing people my Star Trek TNG pinball just because it's signed by everybody.
One of the ones I actually looked into purchasing myself when I actually had a lot of disposable income, but
it's
it
one
didn't
of
happen.
the hardest games to maintain. I've had operators or ex-operators tell me how much, because it's got so much going on. It's such a mechanical beast that things just fail constantly.
Yeah.
Pinbot probably only because Pinbot's my favorite game. Barry Orzer, Python Angelo, Chris Granner. It's kind of the dream team as far as I'm concerned. I really like those guys. And it's just robots in space.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much, you know what I mean?
They got that hot robot chick in there.
Oh, yeah, the bride. But yeah, I don't know, that's probably right now the game I like the most. There's a couple others that I'd like to bring out and fix up, but there may be... No, that's the one right now. It's like a moving target. Right now, that's my favorite.
And for me, you got the Tron games out in front, which is like, your place puts you on top for me right now.
Oh, right on. Look in the Tron, so the Tron pinball from Stern, if you look on the right, and the game that came out had a little miniature Tron cabinet in there and just a light that would go off, right? It looked pretty cool. A guy made a mod that's actually a laser cut Tron machine with a little glowing joystick, just like the regular one, and an LCD screen that plays the fucking game.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. So when you're playing, you look over there, and it's playing the attract mode all the way down to the entire attract mode.
Wow.
Is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
A really neat game, and we put a subwoofer on it too, so when we play it, it's pretty awesome.
I can blow my balls off.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, one of the arcades I always liked was Time Crisis.
Oh, sure.
When it first came out, because I had the pedal to control
Yep.
cover and all that. And I
Oh,
It's not fun playing that on the home systems, I'll tell you that.
No,
If
it
you had to
wasn't.
step on your controller.
Yeah, I tried it. I didn't like, but yeah, that was one of the big. It's one of those big ones too. Though. It takes
They
up
still
a lot of
have that, actually, the update one
Was
over
it
there.
2 or 3?
2 or 3, yeah, over at the City North 14 down the street.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see guys that are into video games from the console side and the arcade, because they're so different. Because the ports are so different, or the controls, hand versus joystick. So someone that thinks they know, well, a lot of people, my wife included, are like, I love Marble Madness, it's so amazing.
Play that with a trackball.
Yeah, and then they're like, this is really hard. And it's a totally different game.
That's how I grew up playing it.
Yeah.
With a trackball?
Yeah, the
It's all
arcade.
touch.
Yeah.
A lot of people remember playing it on the NES, so it's different. You know, it's very, very different.
I think we should like walk around and talk about some of the games.
Yeah, walk around.
Some of the high points, I guess.
That's Satan's Hollow, designed, I believe, by the same team that worked on Tron. Actually, I should ask George Gomez that. I didn't think about that. Similar joystick. Super cool game. It's basically a shooter. It's kind of a shmup, except for Satan shows up and shoots fire at you. It's a little different than most shmups since Satan's involved. Really cool game, really fun. Actually premiered, I believe, in the movie Joysticks, which is kind of a weird. It's in the like era of like Porky's, or you know, a lot of gratuitous like, oh look, oh my shirt's off. Why? We don't really know.
Just because.
Just awkward. Not a great movie, kind of hard to watch, but kind of fun. And it's all about an arcade and towns trying to shut down the arcade, and the punks
Footloose of arcades.
Yeah, right. And then, but it's pretty awkward. Like literally, for some reason this kid climbs on top of a van where some people are making out, and in the van's a hot tub, and he falls in the hot tub. Just like any reason to get people half naked is somehow work in. But it's actually a pretty funny movie, and the punks actually work for the bad guys, and they're trying to help them shut down this arcade. And the climax of the whole movie is a guy named, he's like the Booger character, I forget his name, but he's playing against the punk, and they're playing with giant joysticks with buttons on top, and they're playing Satan's Hollow. Worth checking out. It needs someone to edit 30 to 40 minutes out of the movie to make it a little bit more
What's worse, that or The Wizard? Come on, it's got, it's like the Power Glove.
It's so bad.
I have more nostalgia for The Wizard than I do
I saw that in the theater,
I probably said The Wizard. And who doesn't love Fred Savage? And the Power Glove. Those two together can't lose.
Yeah.
George Gomez told me, I don't know if you can see it, but
I still have this for my Atari.
he told me that in all of his games he would hide his initials or his name. So actually in here, if you look really carefully, there's the E, there's the Z. Gomez is actually hidden in that pattern. He told me that, blew my mind. I love new fun facts, so I love that stuff. Beastie Feastie is really cool.
I've never heard of this.
Fairly rare game. It's by Cardinal or Epos, Cardinal Amusements. They were a company that at least a couple of their games, this and Street Heat, Glob, and Super Glob, are actually daughter boards or ROM swaps on pack hardware. So it's running, this is running pack hardware with a little daughter board and I believe different EPROMs. So it's running off of an actual Pac-Man board. So if you look, it's a Pac-Man cabinet that's been converted. And you're playing this character whose name's Toby, who eats all these random foods and can call an elevator, who's kind of a rag, and he's killing animals with the elevator itself. You can actually call the elevator with Toby, and the animals at some point can call the elevator.
Guerrilla warfare.
Yo! So you can ride the elevator, you can grab the top, you can squish the animals, you can call the elevator and use that to crush the animals as well. It's actually a really cool game. A lot of the pros are really into it, so you're just crushing these animals and eating.
It's kind of like Mappy meets elevator action.
Yeah. The follow-up, although I'm not sure the history, I think Glob and Super Glob are follow-ups. They're much harder, they ramp up a lot faster. And the character sprites for Toby look a lot cooler. That's the gist of the game. You're just running around, clearing the level. Pretty rare game. I don't know of any other ones out in the wild, so to speak.
That's why you got the Donkey Kong 3 here. That one's not too common either.
That's a good game. It's the only Donkey Kong that doesn't have Mario, different characters.
That's the Game & Watch guy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's basically a shmup as well. I mean, it's really a shoot 'em up.
Remember, you're doing the bug, you're shooting the bug spray.
Yep, so it's basically a shmup.
Shooting Kong in the balls.
Yeah. This is kind of a weird one. It's a follow-up to a little-known game.
Oh, is that DJ Boy? Yes.
DJ Boy was the first one.
This one has the actual songs, right?
This one is B-Rap Boys, which is the follow-up. So DJ Boy had Wolfman Jack doing the I'm a DJ and all that crap. B-Rap Boys, your DJs. And it's when you drop a coin in it, the sound is actually a scratch. If you watch the beginning, it's very 90s, like Hammer Pants.
There they go, look at it.
It's so bad. It's like, come on, R-E-M-I-X, hey. That's the one thing that keeps going over and over. You pick your character. You can hear that. On the stage. There's an amazing rap too that he does that's I'm beat and I'm awesome. And he has this like kind of Boston accent. When I hit the stage, make the wild girls go crazy. And that's only in the attract mode, and it's this heavy Boston. Yeah. Food Fight, decently rare game. Atari, it's got an analog joystick, so you can actually, when you're playing the game, look and do slight motions before. It's not like a standard 8-way.
We're having this for the 7800.
Oh yeah. Still got the high score.
Nice.
Because nobody plays it. Not because I'm that great, because nobody plays it. But I gotta keep it. It's one of my. Oh, here's the Tron thing.
Oh yeah.
So check out the attract mode there.
So you have that mod on here?
Yep. And then so that goes through the same attract mode, right? And then you come over to this little guy. It's playing the same attract mode in the game.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
That is amazing.
That is
Like the little mods like that. This cable that's on there, this fiber optic line, that's actually a mod. The high-end expensive version had that, and then a guy came up with a version of that you can mod into the lower level. This is not the expensive version of this game, it's a lower level version.
I didn't realize there were different versions you could get.
It's like limited edition and pro models with different levels you can get of some of the Stern games. And if I were to buy this at the higher level version, the LE, I think it's like 8,000 to 10,000 now. So yeah. So it's nice that people have mods. So you can dress your game up and not have to buy the expensive version.
Is there a hidden compartment back there that goes down to the basement?
The Gottlieb wedge head from 75, I think. Cool game, Abracadabra. The artwork's done by Gordon Morrison, who's the man. He's amazing. I think Ed Kapinski probably did the layout. He also did, Gordon Morrison also did Sinbad, Target Alpha. Look him up. His artwork's amazing. He's really good. Fun game.
I love the classics where it's really shallow.
Yeah.
Where you get the new ones that have so much stuff, but here it's shallow, it's right up.
They tried to bring that back and they called it street level games. I think it was Gottlieb later. They tried to come up with similar games that are all one level, no big ramps, none of that. But I don't know that did very well. So, Elvira, artwork by Greg Freres, who actually has been here. Super nice guy. He signed my Star Trek, he signed my Harley. So when we got it, I have two different ones of this, and the one that I got came with the original package from the factory, and inside there is a modesty sticker for cleavage, which I didn't know existed, and it was this piece of paper with this little sticker saying, if you'd like to apply this modesty, whatever, and it's a little bit of lace to cover. And it's like, if you're going to buy an Elvira,
yeah, you got to show it.
Know what you're
That's
getting.
what she's known for.
My favorite pin, my wife's favorite pin, I'm pretty sure. So right there, that's Greg Freres, the artist. Right there is Steve Ritchie, the game designer, who also designed the new Star Trek game for Stern, which is, I think, the best Stern to come out. And then I got it signed by everyone. Jonathan Frakes, LeVar Burton, Brent Spiner, Patrick Stewart, Michael Dorn, Marina Sirtis, Casey McFadden. They're all super nice too. They're really, really, really nice. Radical, that was actually owned by the game designer, the guy that designed this game, Daniel Langlois. This was his actual machine.
Oh, really?
That he got. Which I found out some friends of ours have the prototype version. They would make 10 test games or however many, and it has a slightly there has an up kicker there and a little bit different. I'm so jealous. Like, prototype. It's cool being in Chicago because you can find some of the prototypes and you can find games from those designers. Or we're lucky enough that people like Gary Stern or Mark Ritchie will actually stop by and have a beer. We can hear some of the stories about making these games. So Gary stepped up to this game and I said, hey, this is a really good earner for us. He goes, when this came out, and he tells me a story about how it didn't earn and how it was on the cover of Replay, or it did really well in Replay for 3 weeks, but everyone thought Replay was BS anyway. And he was telling me that the reason why you don't find them is they were mostly shipped overseas and they stopped production, didn't make them. Just those little anecdotes that, how would I know? But this guy's been in the game for so long, he knows all these little stories. They're pretty cool.
I like what you got. You got a great collection.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's a nice
It's a work in progress. Keeping the games going, getting other games on the floor that are projects. Because like I said, a lot of the games we have are separate games. Like that Satan's Hollow was 2 Satan's Hollows together in one. Because we buy boat anchors and try to fix them up.
That's pretty cool though. I mean, you gotta admit.
Yeah. I like it because it means there's one less game in the trash.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the way I think of it. It's like, I feel like I'm the cat lady of video games and pinball machines. We're like, wait, there's how many kitties? Oh, I gotta get there before the, animal control gets the kitties. I feel the same way about the games. I gotta get in there and get those games before someone's like, I don't know what this is.
Yep.
Let's crush it.
Well, you got an amazing place here, dude. I like it a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime. Yeah. Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Thanks for taking the time.
All right, everybody, so we're time for the wrap-up.
Foot 5. And that's your hand. Okay, that sucked. Anyway. I pulled my groin muscle.
All right. So yeah, we hung out with the owner at Logan Arcade here in Chicago. Learned a lot.
Yeah,
I didn't know much about like the history of arcades and like the artwork. I mean, this guy knew everything.
Yeah, just finding out about like the work it took for these guys to like piece together some of these machines. Like it took more than one machine to make one work properly. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, and being a person, this is built by somebody who loves arcades.
Yeah,
it's obvious. It's not.
And
this is something he just is having fun with.
Me being a huge video game fan, this is fascinating.
Yeah, really awesome.
Yeah,
almost kind of like a little. Museum of arcades. So
it's awesome if you can talk to the owner and get a little history lesson on some of these machines. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, so come check this place out, definitely. Make sure to watch our video, like our page, Facebook, and subscribe to this YouTube page.
Twitter.
Please, and hit us up on the tweets. We tweet now.
Yes.
He's a tweeter.
Twatter.
Tweeter. Potato.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But do it. Just do that. And
make it so.
So we'll catch you guys next time.
Yep. I'm gonna go dry hump the Tron machine. I want to have my children. I want Ron babies. That's it.